Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Season 4 podcast. I am privileged today to have some of our Sim Leadership alum joining us today to talk about our NLN Sim Leadership Institute program. I want to first just give a quick description about the Sim Lead program, which we are currently accepting applications. It is a one-year program, and it's designed for people that are in the simulation field who are looking to advance their career and assume more of a leadership role in simulation. Each cohort is about 20 participants. The people that have graduated from the program have said it's changed their career, it's changed their lives. So we wanted to talk about the benefits of the program, talk to some of our individuals here who have graduated from the program and how it's impacted their career. So I want to just start with, I'll introduce myself. I'm Dr. Kelly Bryant. I am the Director for the Center of Innovation and Education Excellence at the National League for Nursing. And now I'm going to pass it and introduce our wonderful group of panelists. And I'll start with Dr. Chris Thomas.
Hi, I'm Chris Thomas. I'm here at George Washington University. I am the Director of Simulation and Experiential Learning, and I started here in January.
Great. And what year did you graduate from the Sim Leadership program?
My Sim Leadership cohort was in 2014. Again, quite a while ago. And again, I have changed positions, met a lot of people. We'll talk more about that as we go forward. But yeah, it was a great opportunity.
Great. We're glad to have you, Dr. Thomas. And Dr. Turkelson, can you give us a little bit of your background?
Yes, I am Dr. Carmen Turkelson. I'm at the University of Michigan Flint School of Nursing, and I'm a professor there and the director for the Center for Simulation and Clinical Innovation. And I was in the second cohort, 2011, of the Sim Leader program.
Great. And last but not least, Dr. Farina, if you could introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Dr. Crystal Farina. I am from the 2015 Sim Lead cohort, and I am currently the Associate Dean of BSN Programs at George Washington University School of Nursing.
Okay, so I welcome all of you. And again, thank you for participating in this podcast. So to start it off, the first question I have for you, can you just share about how your participation in our NLN Sim Leadership Institute program, how has it changed your career? And Crystal, do you want to start us off?
I will start you off, yes. So for me, the Simulation Leadership Program has 100% changed my life and my career trajectory. The first part is the 2015 cohort. There were 20 of us, and we really bonded as a group and still continue to do a lot of work together. And because of that group and the things that I learned at the program, it's the whole reason why I'm at George Washington University now. I started out at a small community college, and I was trying to move simulation forward. And this program helped me apply for different roles at the community college. And from there, an opening came at GW, and without the coaching and the support that I had from the NLN, I would have never applied for these programs. And I certainly would not be an associate dean at this time.
Well, I want to say congratulations on your new role.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Dr. Thomas, can you tell us how this program has helped you in your career?
It just opened up the world of simulation for me. Again, just as Crystal identified, I had been working at a state university in Pennsylvania, doing some simulation. They hadn't really formally introduced it into the curriculum. So through learning through all of that and the mentoring through the program, I was able to help them, design the curriculum around best practices. And again, it's really that networking piece. I was just felt stuck. I just was stuck, you're sort of in your own little world, and you just get feedback from those that are in that world. But as you start to, talk to different people with similar struggles, their challenges, their triumphs, and being able to support one another through all of that, because as many programs start out, there's usually one champion. There's one person that's sort of trying to move it through, and you feel a bit isolated. So this program, like I said, just opened it up. I was just like, wow, there's a whole other world to learn. And it gave me that opportunity to do that.
Great, thank you. And Dr. Turkelson, how has it changed your career?
I would say it's been definitely life-changing, as the others have mentioned. When I was in the Sim Leader program in 2011, I was just starting my doctorate program, and I was a clinical nurse specialist on the hospital side. And I, like many people, got thrown into simulation. My boss sent me to a conference where Dr. Pam Jeffries was speaking, myself and one other colleague. And when we returned, we were told you have to implement simulation into critical care residency program and nursing orientation. So I knew nothing about simulation. That was in 2011. And just like Dr. Thomas said, there was nobody in the hospital that I had no resources. I had nobody else. Now I knew nothing. So I really looked to this program to help me build my knowledge and expertise in simulation. And what it did is, just like has already been shared, it connected me to experts in the field. It created a network of colleagues to collaborate with, not just during the program, but after the program. It opened the doors for involvement in Anaxil and SSH, and just really like a broader world out there of simulation. And for me, it really was the foundation of my beginning to develop an expertise in simulation and set myself up as a simulation leader. So as I mentioned, I was at the beginning of my doctorate program, and that fueled my DNP project, that fueled my current research and grant funding. But it also opened the door for me to move into academia and create a director position at a school where there was nobody overseeing the SIM program. And yeah, I just could probably go on and on for a long time about how it changed my life. But the amazing thing really is that mentorship and collaboration. To me, like, those are the biggest pieces, because it is not it's always the village, right? It's that helps us do what we do every day. And so for me, that was a huge piece, but it also gave me a lot of insight into leadership strategies and how to lead a program and how to advocate for simulation, because many of us get thrown into these positions and we have to advocate for what it is that we do and how we do it and how it makes a difference. So it really helped me in doing that.
Excellent. And I want to kind of piggyback off of that. So to go a little bit more in detail about the program, again, it's a year-long program, and there's so many components to it. Like you mentioned, there's the mentorship. Another component is that you get to learn from simulation experts from around the world. And it helps you to also kind of plan your trajectory for your career. I know a big part of it is really kind of mapping out, where do you see yourself in 3 years? And most importantly, you have regular workshops and meetings, and you're learning different techniques on how to be a leader. So I want to ask you, being a graduate from the program, how specifically has it helped you with your leadership skills and your leadership development?
The leadership assessment. So that was one thing that really helped. And then of course you're assigned that mentor. And so, I was going along with fake it till you make it type of thing. So what do other leaders do? How do I do that? But then they really sort of helped me understand that, everybody has their own leadership strengths. I mean, that was the sort of the pull of that. So that assessment helped me really identify that, I'm more of a relator, learner, and advocator. There is no one way to lead. So to lean into those strengths so that, those around you, as you start moving forward and team building, that you're authentic to yourself, because it's really hard to be a leader if you're not authentic. That's sort of what stood out to me.
Excellent. Yeah, I think a lot of us, we started as faculty in a nursing program, and then we went into these leadership roles. And I don't know about you, but I find that I didn't really have any training that prepared me to be a leader. Those skills are very unique. So that's why I think this program is so important, because we don't have those opportunities, to develop our leadership skills. Because a lot of times we're just thrown into these roles. We're thankful for it, but we need that preparation, because there are specific traits and skills needed in order to lead a team or to oversee a simulation center. So Dr. Farina, I see that you had wanted to answer that question also. Can
Yeah,
you tell us
well,
about how it's advanced your leadership skills?
well, we had such amazing leadership role models. You know, and again, we were very privileged to have Pam Jeffries as one of our, you know, leaders and role models that helped us through. Marianne Rizzolo, Sue Fernaris, and Mary Fay were all part of my Sim Lead cohort, and they were who we learned from. And so they gave us such guidance and really role modeled what true leaders are, and really role modeled simulation and how it's supposed to be that psychologically safe environment where it's okay to make mistakes. And they encouraged us to take risks in leadership. And so, as Dr. Torkelson was saying, it was really an opportunity to build our career, build our pathway, to take risks and say, okay, there isn't a sim director here. Let's make one. Could I possibly, you know, pitch that to the university leaders to say, can we do this? And it was because of those role models that really helped me grow.
And I'm assuming it also helped build your confidence.
Oh
in the
yes. Oh
program.
yes.
Yes.
And
I
you
would
know,
just-
go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to piggyback off of that and say, I think they also challenged us, right, to think beyond where we were at that moment in time, but to think future and where you want to be and how to best position yourself to be that person that's selected as the director, to be that leader in your organization. And so, you know, part of, I think, being a leader is awesome, and we have great role models, is stimulating the idea in somebody else that they can be more than they thought they could be. And that's what this program definitely did, because when I entered it, I didn't know what I didn't know. And I really never could I have imagined where I would be in the things that I'm doing today in simulation. Never, ever in 2011 would have dreamed that. And those role models, today we can still reach out to them, and our colleagues, we can still reach out to them. So it's not just something that's like, once you're done in the program, you never hear from your mentors again. Like, you see them all the time, you hear from them, they encourage you, they say, you should do this, you should do that. And so they've opened a lot of doors and maybe opened my mind to things that I never thought I could do.
Great, great. So I know that a lot of you have had career changes since you graduated from the Simulation Leadership Program. Can you tell me a little bit in detail about what's changed since you graduated as far as your career?
I can start. I mean, I was in my doctorate program, so I achieved my DNP in 2013. And as I mentioned, I was in the hospital setting doing simulation there. So I applied a lot of the concepts I learned in the program to simulation on the acute care side and in nursing. And my DNP project was on nurse-physician communication using simulation. And we were able to show an improvement in that, and it was really exciting. But then in 2014, I had an opportunity to move into the academic world. And so I moved into an assistant professor position in 2014 at the University of Michigan Flint School of Nursing. And again, as I mentioned, at that time, they had one room simulation center and they had nobody overseeing it. It was just kind of a free-for-all. People were told to do simulation. And again, I just kind of leaned back into the experience I had in the Sim Leader program and even in my doctorate work, that the mentors I had during that, in that I saw, well, there's maybe an opportunity. Maybe I could be the one that one day oversaw the simulation program. So by 2015, I was the associate director of the Sim Center and was able to grow a team, write job descriptions, and position became official in 2019. And I'm still in that role. Grant funding, I could go on and on about. I mean, recently we just were awarded another $1.4 million to do work in sexual assault nurse examiners using simulation training. So
congratulations.
it's just opened so many doors. So my And I'm a full professor now too. So a lot has changed.
Excellent. So
I'm
it's done.
tired, so a lot's
A lot of changes since you graduated.
Yeah.
So congratulations on all those accomplishments. Dr. Thomas, tell us about your career.
Well, as I said, where I was before, we were just starting to implement it in a bit of a formal way, but we had no simulation director or specific faculty as the point person. So having gone through the program and learned all those things, I was able to, step up and do that. And so it was, again, great. It was a very big challenge as we move forward, but, I had other great faculty that were working there. And so as being their simulation faculty, where that's all I did was simulation and pulling all those pieces together, again, networking not only within the department, things started to grow. Simulation was really taking off, and people at the university started to notice what simulation was doing. So now other departments wanted to do simulation, so speech language pathology and nutrition and respiratory therapy. So not only that, now it starts to lead into interdisciplinary. So again, all of that different types of things, networking, getting out there, growing in those different areas. Again, reaching out to different people and colleagues across the country, doing more consulting for the NLN and learning more. I was unable to make the Anaxel conference last year, but some of my friends and colleagues were there and saw that Crystal was looking for a simulation director. They called me up from the conference and I jumped on that. So I applied and here I am. So as I said, it really sort of helps grow. Was not sure if I was ready for that, but I was, again, encouraged by all my friends and colleagues that yes, you need to do that. And I'm very excited to be here.
Excellent. And Crystal, Dr. Farina, tell us.
As I think about my career in simulation, I started in 2004. So it's been 20 years in simulation. And I started by taking SimMan out of the box. Like, this community college got it. They were afraid to take it out of the box because it was so expensive. And I know that's how a lot of people have started in simulation.
How I started.
Yeah. And so took him out of the box, set him on the bed, called Laerdal and said, okay, can somebody tell me what I need to do to use it? And the next thing I know, I'm in love and I have a whole new career plan. Like simulation is going to be my life, I could tell. And so it was just learning as I went. And like I said, I was at a little community college because of the things that I had been doing in simulation. I was part of them developing and building a 100,000 square foot health professions and athletic center that had probably a 30,000 square foot simulation center to it. And I got to be the director of that. And really that in addition to the NLN Sim Lead program really set my career in a very different path. From there, after the Sim Lead program, I guess it was about 2 years after the Sim Lead program, there were 4 of us in our cohort that really bonded, and we were all from the state of Maryland. And so we started thinking about there needs to be a simulation consulting group. Like there are people that need information. And so we still work together. 2 of us actually built and developed a simulation consulting firm, Simple Simulation, with Tanya Schneider-Reif from the 2015 cohort. And, so that's one thing that I was able to do. And it's something that I really enjoy. And I get to reach out to all these different programs and help them with their simulation. And at the same time, I guess it was about 2017 that this position came up at GW to be the Simulation and Innovative Learning Center under the deanship of Pam Jeffrey. She was the dean of GW at the time. And so when I came on board there, it has been an amazing experience to learn from her. We renovated every ounce of simulation space in this building. So we now have 20,000 square feet, about 18 beds, an OSCE center, a really innovative skills lab. And just in the last 2 years, I have moved on to that leadership role to be the Associate Dean of BSN program. So it was all of the leadership and all of the, I learned different leadership styles, and that's really, if I could have told my 2015 self that this is where I was going, I would have never believed it. So, and I can't wait to see, what happens next.
Oh my goodness. Wow. So we have people that have become deans, people have gotten research grants, even starting their own business, all of this since you graduated. That is absolutely amazing. I just want to touch upon, I've heard references to how this program has led you to connect with other simulationists, the networking has definitely helped with your career trajectory. Can you tell me a little bit more or give examples of the power of that networking and having these wonderful mentors? How has that also enhanced your careers?
I would say that networking, being able to actually be aware that there are other people out there walking the same path that you are is huge, right? Because I think all of us have shared that we were kind of an island in our own areas. And so knowing that you have other individuals that are doing the same things, but they also connected us, like I said earlier, to simulation organizations like the NLN, ANAXL, and SSH, and encouraged, or at least during my cohort, they were encouraging us to be involved in those organizations because that helps you connect, whether it's at conferences or there are, chats and discussion boards and podcasts such as this. And that can also help build your education. I mean, I became CHEESY. I was in the first cohort that was CHEESY certified. I'm CHEESY A. So, it opened the doors for that. But for me too, also my involvement in those organizations led to me being able to run for a board position on ANAXL. Again, never would have imagined that I'm doing that, and, again, that just gave me so much knowledge and insight. That experience was an amazing experience. And even just having that opportunity, I never would have had that opportunity if I hadn't had this foundation to build off of.
Excellent.
Go ahead, Crystal.
Sorry. The 2015 cohort, we were sort of a unique group. We don't know why, but we bonded as a group in such a way that we have stayed so close that the group that was part of our cohort are my best friends. And I can still say that today that, at least probably 10 of us do things together all the time. Some of my colleagues will say when they see me at a conference like ANAXL, or she's with her sim sisters, like you see this entourage going from session to session. And the unique thing is we'll go to different sessions and then come back and talk about it together. And we really support each other by, calling on each other to say, hey, I'm having a problem with this. What are you guys doing? The network that we've created, and we welcome anybody else, as the new sim lead cohort comes in, if we see them and somebody says, hey, I know this, we just pull them in because we want to grow simulation and that leadership so much. And it has been fantastic. We help each other with jobs and interviews and, writing articles and doing presentations, and that networking has really led the group of us to become such good leaders.
That is beautiful to hear, because one thing I do find being in the simulation community, we do support and look out for each other, which I love. Because, I don't know if I see that in a lot of the other organizations, that sense of community and that connectiveness. And you'll get emails and phone calls. You want to work with me on this grant. You want to write this article together. Let's present together. So I'm glad that was one of the outcomes from the program is really promoting that sense of community. So Dr. Thomas, I know you want
to. The thing that sort of stood out to me, I still keep in touch with some of them. I actually talk to more of Crystal's cohort because they go to conferences and they're all together. But the other thing with the NLN is you guys put together projects and then are reaching out to the simulation leaders. And in the beginning, I was just like, do I have time for this? Yes, I benefited from the other piece. Let me volunteer. And it, again, has opened up my world. So some of the things that the NLN has given me an opportunity to do is work with NLN and Laerdal, and doing on-site faculty development for beginning, simulationists that their struggles. That was the biggest learning opportunity I ever did. Not only was I sharing, but again, talking to people and the struggles that they were having. And some of them were unique and some of them are not. And you're, again, collaborating and reaching out, doing some of the CERT courses. So helping, review them and revise them and do those type of things. All those projects forced me to go out back into the literature. Now I've got a project. I got to learn what's out there. What are we going to do about that? So again, it really helped continue with my growth afterwards related to the projects and collaborations. And I didn't do that alone. You guys reach out to everybody. You put a call out. Who has an area in this? Who wants to learn more about that? So now you're not just, again, working on a project alone. You're collaborating, not with somebody in your general area typically, but across the country.
Good. So we unfortunately are running out of time. I think we can continue having this conversation for another hour, but I do want to end us with one last question that I'd like to hear from each of you. I'm thinking about the individual who's kind of in the middle of their simulation career, maybe even the beginning, who's contemplating, should I apply for this program? I'm not sure if I'm ready. So what advice would you give someone who's thinking about applying for this program, but is kind of on the fence? What would you tell them?
Oh, I would say hands down, it's a no-brainer. Just do it. And I will say this too, at the time, I did not have support from my management and the hospital side to do it. So I paid, out of pocket, no reimbursement, because I felt it was that important for my own personal growth. Little did I know, like we've been sharing, how it would literally change my life. So I think, go for it. It will change your perspective. It will probably change your trajectory and your career as a simulationist. And it's only going to help you.
Dr. Farina.
I would say the same thing, just do it. I was in a similar position. I wasn't getting a lot of support to apply for it. And as I was writing the application, I thought, oh my goodness, they're never going to accept me. Like I'm a baby at this. I don't even, know. And I was so amazed that I got in, and, it really, again, I can't say it enough, life-changing. So just do it. Take the risk, right? If you don't apply, you will never know. But if you apply, you have the chance, and you will really be lifted up. And the NLN does such amazing things for everyone that it comes in contact with. And so just do it. That's all I can say.
Sounds like the Nike commercial, just do it.
That's right, just do it.
And Dr. Thomas, what advice would you give someone who's thinking?
I concur. That was what I was thinking. Just do it. At the time I had still paying off student loans, didn't have that, and it would have been a risk. But I'm like, you know what? There's no, if I'm staying safe where I am not, again, challenging myself. I'm not giving myself some of these opportunities. And again, filling out the thing, I did a little bit. I don't know if they're going to accept me, but that's what that NLN program was. Like, where are you and where can we take you? And it has taken me quite far. So if you can definitely find the resources, do it.
Excellent. So that is the theme. Even if you're thinking about it, just do it. And the fact that, again, from everything I heard from you, this program was life-changing. It really, instilled within you those leadership skills. I heard a lot about just even the confidence, because I think a lot of us are like that. You never think that you're ready. You never think that, you can possibly be an assistant dean or a dean of a simulation program. So I want to just thank you. Thank you for sharing all your knowledge and your experience being an alum from the Simulation Leadership Program. I hope that this has been helpful. So for those of you watching this, again, if you're even thinking about it, just apply. It is life-changing and it will take your career to that next level and then give you those skills needed to, move forward with your leadership skills. So applications are open, so you can still apply. You can visit nln.org and look for the Simulation Leadership Program and apply right online. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Again, I am Dr. Kelly Bryant. My email is kbryant, BRYANT, @nln.org. So I want to also take the time to thank our wonderful, wonderful panelists. Thank you for sharing your experiences and taking the time out of your busy schedules to meet with us today to record this. So thank you, Dr. Thomas, Dr. Turkelson, and Dr. Farina for imparting your wisdom and your experience. So thank you so much.
Thank
Bye,
you,
everyone.
Dr. Bryant.
Thank you. Thank you.